What's up, Ringside Collectibles and WrestlingFigures.com fans? I'm here at AEW Revolution Fan Fest 2022, and I'm with the big dogs, the Jazwares team, Greg Mitchell and Magic Olmos. Guys, how has the day been and how are you doing?
Awesome, exciting, and tired in that order.
A little exhausting, right?
Yeah.
It's been amazing.
Nap
Absolutely
time or
amazing.
what?
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah.
Food time first. I gotta eat something.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Hopefully something good. Have seconds this time. So we have our fan-selected questions here across Ringside Collectibles social media platforms. We asked for questions on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We also asked for them on Wrestling Figs, our forum. So we gathered a bunch of them up, and if you guys are down for it, I'd like to ask you a few and just see if we can get some direct answers straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak.
What about some indirect ones? Those are also count too, right?
Dude, I always love indirect answers because I'm all about keeping people guessing. They hate me for it, but it's okay. I'm up for it. So if you have an indirect answer, give it.
Cool.
Excellent. So let's get started. I'm going to bring the big guns out right away, and I'm going to ask the big news lately, Tony Khan's major announcement, the acquisition of Ring of Honor. It's been all over wrestling news. It's been all over news. It's a huge deal. He acquired Ring of Honor, and people want to know how soon we can see that reflected in the action figure line. Could we see a throwback of main event talents? There's a lot of them that are former Ring of Honor stars. Perhaps new wrestlers under the ROH banner that may or may not come back. What do you have, and have you discussed this? Is there anything you can tell us about this yet?
We're just as enthusiastic as everybody else is about the potential and the possibilities. It's really early days. I mean, it's still been roughly 48, maybe 72 hours since the announcement. So just know that we are keenly tuned into the opportunities, the excitement, the desire from us as fans, as well as what everyone else is asking for. We'll definitely trust in Tony and leadership's vision for how to maximize, but also properly handle ROH in the right way. And gosh, I mean, we've already gone dizzy thinking about the possibilities. Some of the ones you've already mentioned, there's so much there, but we'll be very eager to jump on it as soon as we can.
You hear that, ladies and gents? It doesn't get more directly indirect than that right there. Excellent.
Indirectly speaking.
So when you guys create new looks and aesthetics for figures, what comes to mind aside from playability? Is figure photography considered at all? Is a collector having something still on the shelf ever considered? What do you think about aside from playability?
I mean, figure photography is always the foundation of these entire figures. Posability, great dramatic looks, something that is photographable. So we think about just dramatic looks, important looks, stuff that happens in important dates, key times, just things that will look great on a shelf, things that will look great in the stores, something that'll catch your eye. There's so much that goes into it, and luckily AEW provides so much, and they're so gracious with all their different looks, and they have so many different characters and so many different personalities that it's really plentiful, and we have so much to choose from. It's awesome.
Yeah,
excellent. We've
never been overt or on the nose from a marketing and branding standpoint when it comes to this photography. It's just so organic because it seems to be so fan generated, but we also consider a lot of those fans allies and co-fans ourselves. So we end up benefiting from it and contributing to that photography, both in the product design, but also in sharing it and using it at trade shows. You saw these beautiful backdrops behind us.
Yeah.
Matt Goldberg is a wonderful friend, but also a really talented photographer. And being able to benefit from that, it's just an organic thing that, we don't sit there in a boardroom and go, what's our marketing plan? It's this, it's influencer photography. It's just all natural. And I think that's what the wrestling community in general brings anyway. The fact that we're able to kind of harmoniously do that with fans as Jazwares just kind of shows what kind of company we are.
Yeah, for sure. It seems like you follow the natural energy of the right thing to do by the toys and by the fans. So
yeah. We never handcuff a creator. We don't handcuff our creative partners. It's more they come to us with these beautiful, wonderful ideas, and we just kind of echo and trumpet them together.
I would 100% say it shows in what we saw today. So I'm glad that that's part of your process, and awesome that you guys think of it that way.
Yeah. We're all fans here in this community, so it shows.
Hell yeah. So we received news of an Owen Hart action figure not just being a possibility, but now being released in, I believe, Unmatched 6, right?
Yeah, Series 6, he'll be a Luminary.
He'll be in the Luminaries lineup. which versions of Owen Hart is Jazwares going to be able to produce? Obviously, like there's some looks that we're unfortunately not going to be able to. We're going to have to stay away from possibly. But are there other looks that maybe are similar to that, or what will you be able to use?
We'll definitely have to do stuff from his early days, like when he's first starting out, Stampede Wrestling, perhaps other times in Japan. We'll look to like earlier times before he became what he became and got his trademarked. But like, there's a lot of great stuff there, and like a lot of wealth of like really fun stuff that he wore when he was Stampede Tag Title Champion. Did I say that right? Stampede Tag Team Champion.
There you go.
There we go. So there's
Told
so much
you we're
stuff.
tired.
Yeah. But yeah, there's some really fun stuff, and like it's been amazing. We're working with Martha Hart to make sure it's right and get her blessing on everything, and make sure her input's there and seen. So we're just really happy. Like, we have so many great chances this year, like to do once in a lifetime things. Like, I feel like we're doing them a lot, and we're commemorating some incredible people, and just it's great. It's a really beautiful thing, like I say.
I'm really excited to see not just the one coming out, but what other Owen Harts there'll be in the future, for sure. We just had a recent set, Unmatched Series 3, I believe, that was the entirety of the set was the Dark Order. So people, that was really popular for a lot of people to see like an entire faction in one set. Would you say that we could see another stable-only set in the future? I know we saw a lot of the Inner Circle broken up in separate sets, but you've done it once. Could you do it again?
Yeah, I think for the right stable, for the right time, and the right moment, and the right wave, there's so many different like thoughts and contexts and circumstances that go into creating the right perfect wave. That was just like a perfect, like having Brody be the anchor of that, and then our commitment to getting more females in the line in almost literally every wave. So that was a perfect part there for Anna Jay. And then realizing, Evil Uno is an action figure come to life the way his attire is. And then Stu Grayson, and then Johnny Hungy. It was just a perfect storm of a wave. And I think what it proved is that a wave can look beautiful together and perfect together. It also proved to us that there should be a part 2 to complete the Dark Order in the near future. We didn't announce anything like that today, but just keep your eyes and ears open. We're hearing you, and you guys are asking for it. And then whether you intersperse them through, like we're doing with the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle, what you guys saw today with the Blood and Guts match, or if there are just more tight, smaller factions, we're always open to it. Yeah. There's never one reason to line up the way it is. There's always at least 20 different things pulling and pushing in different directions, but that one was just lined up perfectly, and we're very encouraged by that.
That's one of my favorite waves. I love that wave. I feel like they all came out spectacular. I love it.
Lots of individual detail, like we were talking about before, and that line definitely showcases it all.
It really does. Like, again, you got the commemoration of Brody Lee, and then all those guys are figure fans, and like their looks are so great and unique, and they have such a homogenous purple and black. Like, it's really awesome. Like, especially open on the shelf with their Dark Order hand up. Like, they look amazing. I have that on my desk at work, just sitting there. It's pretty cool.
The entire Dark Order, maybe 10 in the future, perhaps? It sounds like you were maybe hinting?
Perhaps.
He's stroking his beard.
Keep your eyes and ears open. Look, I'm a recovered goth, so anyone that's dressed all in black and purple, I got the Susie and the Banshees tattoo to prove it, so the purple and black, I'm all in.
Heck yeah, man. That's authentic.
I might have had a GIMP mask at one point, too. I'm not going to say.
Let's hope so. We saw the Supreme lineup, not just the first series with Cody Rhodes and Britt Baker, but also Series 2 with Malachi Black and also with Kenny Omega. Tell us about the Supreme line, what it's like to get this out, and what can we expect from the Supreme line in the future?
Yeah, Unrivaled Supreme is a really big step forward for us. Like, we've been trying to improve every single wave by challenging ourselves, always trying to put as much as we possibly can into a regular Unrivaled figure and then subsequently Unmatched figure. And then the more beautiful attires, the more ornate stuff we keep seeing, it just pushes Magic and Ray and the whole team to go, what else can we do here to bring that authenticity to life, but at a price point that makes sense? Obviously, you have to kind of, sacrifice certain details or certain accessories, or when you have a $20 price point. But knowing what the market can bear when it comes to just truly authentic, higher end action figures, but still at a mass price point, we felt like we could do a lot at this with Unrivaled Supreme. And really, it's $40. I think we're giving you more value than $40 in that
Yeah.
package based on what
Yeah.
these guys are doing.
Yeah,
The
definitely.
package alone's amazing. Just to have that on your shelf, it's gonna be incredible. You get 2 entrance stages. You get 2 of those next to each other. You have like almost this like whole diorama.
Yeah.
It's gonna look incredible. But like another step of it is like we're evolving the line to a higher level now. Like with the articulation, the pinless joints, and then all the intensely like ornate detail and deco. It's really just like a higher echelon of what a figure can be. So I'm really glad we're pushing into that level.
We've seen some 2-packs released as exclusives. We have the Blood and Guts line and as a Ringside Collectibles exclusive. We now see the Brody Lee and -1 2-pack. What are the odds or chances that we could see not just 2-packs as a regular mainline item, but also maybe additional packs, like a 5-pack of an entire faction or something like that? So, twofold question: is there possible that we see like a main line of 2-packs, and beyond that, could we see one-offs of like entire factions?
It's funny, with the 2-pack thing, there was like a fork in the road where the logical progression of things when you get into like year 2 and year 3 of a line is like, yeah, you can start offering 2-packs and they'd be 40 or maybe $45. That came at the same time of thinking like, well, what if we took an Unrivaled or Unmatched figure and made it the most incredibly next level version of it? Where we netted out was Unrivaled Supreme, to give you a singular figure experience, but with that one talent, multiple looks. So if you look at any of those versions of Unrivaled Supreme, they're essentially 2.5 and in some cases almost 3 action figures built into one. To us, that was a little bit more exciting and a little bit more needle moving than just doing a 2-pack. 2-packs could be more opportunistic, like exclusives for retailers where you can like pair, rivals, allies, tag teams. I think there'll always be a place for that. But if you're going to do like our flag in the sand for like what's next for AEW Unrivaled at Mass and at Ringside, I think the Unrivaled Supreme was like the right way to go with that.
Excellent. Yeah. As far as that goes, could it ever go beyond just with those special occasions? Like, could it ever go beyond just 2 figures in a pack, depending?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's the next step of growth there. Like right now, a retail buyer, like you think like a Walmart or a Target, if you offer them 2 different $40 price points, they're probably going to tell you, well, which one should I take? Should I take the 2-pack or should I take this ornate Supreme figure? Rather than give them that conundrum, give them Supreme first, and if the market continues to grow, the wrestling figure business as a whole is up year over year for all of us. Just rising tides, man, and it's great to be in this moment of wrestling. So if that next step is, now 2-packs at $45 or $50, we'd be totally open to it, of course. It's whatever the market can bear, whatever fans ask for, and that we're always conscious to never overburden our fans' wallets.
Excellent. I love to hear it. You always want to save some money so you can have more money later on for more figures. Obviously,
you can't bankrupt the people you love, and we love our fans and we love our consumers, but we have a job to do, and at the same time, we can't just go and get it all at once. We want to build a sustainable relationship in business for years to come.
So we saw Sting debut in the Luminaries line. So this has been wildly popular. Like people can't seem to get a hold of Sting. Like, for those who don't know, the Luminaries line is meant to showcase legends. Owen Hart, we saw announced. We also saw like the Lionheart, Chris Jericho. This is a throwback here. Could we see any other names that you can tell us about that'll be released in the Luminaries line? I know we saw like a modern Taz today. Could we see like a throwback Taz? Could we? What kind of possibilities do we have? And are there any tidbits you can give?
We got a couple things cooking. We just did our line planning for all of next year. I think by the time that we are at our next Fan Fest, I think we'll be able to give you guys a little bit more glimpse into where Luminaries can go. I think today we only had the opportunity to show, obviously we showed Corazon de Leon because we had announced him previously, and we announced Owen Hart. We still got some more fun stuff for the LJN Wrestling Superstars. If you notice, the LJNs and the Luminaries kind of leapfrog each other, so they're every other unmatched wave. So I think by the time we see you guys again at next Fan Fest, we'll have some more insight as to Luminaries, whether they're modern versions of Legends, because we have a lot of like modern versions of Legends that work in AEW now, right? Like you've got like obviously Tully, you've got Armed, Paul White, Mark Henry. But you also, like you say, we've got like some of these like throwback moments where we can like go back into a talent's career when they weren't in WWF, when they weren't in a territory that was eventually bought by WWE. And we look for those little gold nuggets there with the talent that we have relationships with to kind of bring those to life.
Cool. That's really exciting, and it'll be great to see some of those looks come to fruition.
Yeah, we got some percolating. We had a fun brainstorm in the last couple months, and we think we got some good stuff to bring to you guys when we do some more announcements.
Awesome. Exciting. So you've received, as far as like online comments and stuff goes, incredible collector praise on certain aspects of the figure, like the way that the abs are the way that the abs crunch compared to some other wrestling figures. Double jointed arms. You showed today so many improvements in things like skin tones, head sculpts. I think you kind of answered, in my opinion, this question with what you displayed today. But I'll ask it anyway. What types of differences and adjustments to the builds could you see possibly coming out beyond this? Like, now that you're over a year into this line and it's obviously going to continue, could we see pinless joints, like further skin tone improvements, further like body type thickness or thinness, improved scale differences in heights? I think the answer is yes, but I'd love to hear what you guys have to say.
Yes.
There you have it.
I agree.
Yes is the answer.
And the context for that answer is whether it's a home run figure, whether it's, okay, we got like the runner on first or second. Sometimes we foul out. In all those cases, the common denominator is we've literally been on video and voice conference calls with our overseas partners, like overnight, like literally until like 5 or 6 a.m. In certain waves, because we care so much about them. I think the common denominator there across everything you just said, and Magic's very succinct yes, is that we care and we want to keep getting better. And whenever we make a mistake, we're usually the first to see it, and we usually will try to get out there and own it, but we always try to get out there and fix it and make it better. And we learn from every mistake. That's what good humans do, and we're all good humans here. And we care about what we do. So we hear you guys. We're also our harshest own critics. And the name of the game is to just keep giving you guys things that you love and getting better at doing it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I don't like reading mean comments and like just harsh criticism, there's like some value in just seeing criticism in general, and definitely seeing what I missed and seeing what we all missed, what we didn't see before, and implementing it and then making the change. So not necessarily announcing, oh, this is being fixed, but just showing it, like you said. Yes.
As we saw today, and looking forward to seeing what's coming in the future with it. You did also shock people with some images today of Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson. We saw the Malachi Black figure out here. All talents that worked for another company previously, very recently, very soon now in the line. We're not used to this as wrestling figure fans, obviously. How often and what kind of time frame do you have for this to happen for somebody like a Jay Lethal or even like a Danhausen or a Keith Lee, who are essentially brand new? How quick are you really like targeting these kinds of things? And second, do you have any like misgivings about somebody that only recently had a figure in another toy line, or are you? It doesn't seem like with Adam Cole you're shying away from anyone, right. But are you in any circumstance?
There's two components to that answer. The first is this team's very admirable ability to jump on something and execute it fast and well, and that's a testament to everyone at our office. You know, Adam from our costing and engineering and product management, Magic, Ray, Sandro, our packaging team, Steve and Chris, our China counterparts. Like, we got Punk turned around really quick. You think about it, he was announced in August. We found out maybe a couple days before that event. We don't get a whole lot of. Sometimes these deals come back to us so quick. We don't get a whole lot of heads up either. And he'll be in the wave in June. Yeah. Was that 9-10 months? Mm-hmm. So this team can really deliver, and I'm proud of that. It's not easy, but we do it. But the other component is how AEW looks at things. Yeah. Sometimes they will put a little gas in the fire and go, let's see how fast we can get this new talent in. Other times they'll say, listen, we have a good mix right now. Let's seed them in at just the right moment. And then to your further point, they'll ask us, like, hey, when was Paul White's last figure? When was Adam Cole's last figure? We'll take all that into consideration, but with their encouragement, with their booking plans, with this person is now a major priority for us, plus our ability to break our backs to make it happen, that's how we figure it out. So you may not see certain people in the line as quickly as you saw the three folks you mentioned, American Dragon, Adam Cole, and CM Punk, but you'll see them in the right waves at the right time for the right reasons.
Sure. Yeah, excellent. That's great, and it's going to be awesome to see, as more people kind of shockingly show up, what else could happen in that respect? So it's cool to see how you're focused on that and what direction you take and how you work with AEW on it as well.
Yeah.
That's awesome that they have that level of input with it.
And the contrast to that too is being able to celebrate folks who've been in here for the long haul so far today. Like, right, we finally announced Private Party today.
Yeah.
They've been in it since day one. We scanned them at All Out Chicago in 2019 together. Like, they've been waiting and chomping at the bit, and they've been fighting for their spot. They've been earning their spot. So the contrast too is like making sure that this roster that's already so rich and diverse and cool doesn't just get kind of like forgotten about just because of all the new star firepower coming in.
Sure.
It's a perfect balance of both that makes AEW happy, us happy, and hopefully all you fans happy too.
Very cool. Very cool. Do you ever intend to include an AEW figure display stand with any of these figures moving forward?
We've talked about this. We keep talking about it, and then we get busy with other things we talk about. It's a very legit question, and we probably need to re-look at it again. I know Jeremy had also was thinking about it too, so it's worth revisiting again.
Shameless plug, WrestlingFigures.com has some up for pre-order right now that will fit AEW wrestling action figures.
So why would we compete with you guys then? You guys are doing a great job.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know.
Why are you guys competing with us, though? What's going on here?
Hey,
Yeah.
We're on some toes here.
hey, I thought this was a partnership here. What the heck?
Next, you're gonna ask if we're gonna sell a shopping cart with like rubber tacks and stuff in it too. Like, wait a minute, that's you guys have that too.
We'll see what happens. Do you have any plans to produce additional scale lines, like maybe a 3 3/4 inch, or probably less likely, I would say a 12-inch, something like that?
From a creative standpoint, those things are always fun to think about,
Yeah,
right?
Definitely fun to think about.
You guys look like you've had a lot of fun thinking about
From a strategic line planning standpoint, I think we're doing a good job of really creating a buy-in at the one scale that makes sense, even to the extent that Unrivaled Supreme is the same exact scale too. It just has more to offer in it. I think once we create that foundation and we see like what the appetite is for different, more smaller, bigger, we'll be amenable to it. We'll listen to it. We'll also look at, obviously current trends, burgeoning and future trends. But right now we really like our scale, and we're glad that you guys like it as much as you do. But we're open to things. It's funny I say that because I run a number of other lines for Jazwares, and we are probably, I will put out my neck out there and say, the best 4-inch action figure company in the world right now. The level of what we bring to the table for Halo and for Fortnite are, I'd say, unparalleled. And I collect a lot of stuff, but for the price point and for the mass figures we do, they're amazing. So it's not to say we couldn't kick ass at it, but we'll see.
Cool.
Can I just give a shout out to Greg for being like the hardest working person at Jazwares? He works on everything, and like he shows AEW so much love, and he's here this weekend doing this for us. Like, I'm just so happy. Like, I'm so proud of everything you've done. Like,
Thanks, man.
I have been on meetings with Greg where he disappeared and turned into a dog. That's how busy he is. It's just like
Everyone's seen Shoyo in at least one conference call at this point. He's my proxy now. I'm talking to Microsoft about Halo, and Shoyo is talking about Ringside Collectibles next line.
he's promised us all kinds of exclusives. So hopefully
that
it's
sounds
things
like my Shiba. Shout out to Nick Storm, Shoyo's favorite influencer.
Of course you are, Nick. So we've seen a few great accessory packs so far. Could we see ring accessories like a steel cage coming next? Anything like that?
We were so excited about the possibility of the cage that right after Wardlow and Cody's match in Atlanta in February of 2020, we went right to the drawing board and we basically built one. It was so early in the line at that point that it wasn't necessarily a price point or an accessory item that the retail market was quite ready for yet, but it's worth revisiting, especially the more AEW uses the cage as a apparatus and a venue for us. I remember what you guys worked on. It looked really badass. It's probably expensive to make too, but it looked great because it was really authentic to that cage that they brought out there to Atlanta.
Was this like something full scale, or was that for the smaller size, the medium scale?
It was for the mass ring, right? Yeah.
$20 one.
Cool. Interesting. So it's out there somewhere.
We have designs.
Yeah.
We have by now obsolete costing for it, and it's probably even more expensive to make now.
Great. Even better. Could you guys go into a bit of detail about how a wrestler is selected for a chase figure? So we saw a few today between CM Punk, obviously, two very distinct but very necessary, I would say, attires. Thunder Rosa as well, amongst a few others. What do you think about when you're selecting attires for chases, and who gets it and why?
Well, I think the thing about it is, like, to make it distinct, like, I think Ricky Stark's a perfect example of the Darby Allin face paint. He only wore it once for one episode for a 3-minute segment, but it's like such an iconic look and people remember that I think it's like the perfect chase, because it's like you're seeing something unique you'll never see again, and necessarily won't work for a mass play. Like, everyone won't want that, but to get it and have the chance to get it like that way, it's really exciting. For the other like chases, I think also giving people who wouldn't necessarily get more figures immediately another crack at the apple, another figure, like, immediately is like awesome too. So you give people two versions of themselves versus just one, or we won't get them maybe for another year or so. So you get two now. So I like that. Yeah.
Very cool. That makes a lot of sense to me. So hopefully that satisfies that question for that person. Would you say that a Build-A-Figure is a possibility as part of like the unmatched or unrivaled lineup? So maybe we did see the Taz as a manager figure come out today in the main line, but we're also still thinking about like a Jake Roberts, a Mark Sterling, a Tully Blanchard. Like, all those guys are still there. Maybe not necessarily in the main line. Could a Build-A-Figure work for you guys?
I'd say this. If you see some of the figure positions we've taken, if you look at how we do our case packs, we haven't been afraid to do like a figure as a standalone entity, or versus trying to leverage them across as a Build-A-Figure. I think that's a difference we like to keep to bring to the table, and not relegate a character to that one format. But like, if we're just smart about it and we work with the right partners, there's certain talents that, it may not fly at a Walmart, but there's certain talent that Ringside embraces, markets, makes really truly special. That why wouldn't we do it as an actual individual figure with his or her own packaging, with his or her own series number in the series? AEW's roster is so diverse. I think it's just second nature for us to think of it that way, more so than kind of like, collect Tony Schiavone and build him. What? No, that guy deserves his own action figure, doesn't he?
Sure.
Hint, hint.
You don't want any more Rey Mysterios, Troy Biz. We remember that figure.
Yeah, I do remember that. We can skip that. Cool. So that's a interesting response, and we'll see what that leads to, because you never know. So what's your current stance on what is your current stance on Forbidden Door talents like Jay White, other people that we've seen kind of come in but hop out of AEW or be on some sort of like partnership? Could we see figures of them in the future? Is that part of the deals when they come along to the AEW?
It always depends on AEW's deals and relationships, and we always respect and follow that. We've got a million phone calls before about like when Mike Tyson appeared on Dynamite, or when Shaq appeared, or when Snoop Dogg appeared on the New Year's show, and it would be amazing to make figures of those guys. But we respect and partner with AEW's relationships and deals, and we honor those. So if there's ever a chance to merchandise those, we'd be all over it. Sure. But at the same time, we follow AEW's lead on who they want to partner and build with. Again, knowing full well that we've got such a diverse and deep roster that we'll never be without great figures to make.
Yeah, agreed. So last question for today. I think I'll ask Magic first, and then Greg will ask you next. Magic, what's the most difficult part of the figure making process for you?
The most difficult part?
Yeah.
Honestly,
the hardest part.
The initial steps, like to get inside baseball, but like we have to communicate how to make this with Asia and like how to manufacture this figure. So for something like Cody Supreme, where it has a ton of pieces, tons of intricate deco, tons of intricate sculpts, like there's so much information there to like just to compile it all together and to send it to Asia to say, here, this is the recipe to how to make this. That's like literally the hardest part for me. It takes a lot of time, but yeah.
Greg, how about you? Hardest part of this entire process?
I don't mean hard in a pejorative way. It's all hard. It's none of this is second nature or easy. And every time we think we've got it figured out, there's a new variable or there's a new piece of information or a new change in something, whether it's the price of something or a teammate has switched teams and is no longer that day-to-day person you work with. It's all hard, but it's so much fun. It's a joy. It's a privilege to be able to do this for a living.
I got to say, I'm happy to sit next to you and be able to talk to you about it. So
thank you. It's a pleasure. I want to say just a perfect moment. Brody Lee Jr. and Nolan just ran by with the giant Pokemon plush that we brought for them. Again, you make toys for a living. You get to make kids smile, and you just saw these two little kids holding Pokemon almost as big as themselves, smiling and running towards our action figures. What's better than that?
Yeah, they're pumped. That's a Snorlax is the same size as his little brother. It's great.
Dude, I'm feeling like Snorlax right now. So if I fall asleep as we say goodbye, don't take it personally.
Don't worry. Hey, I won't. You can if you want. So. So. That's it for the Q&A. Jazwares, Magic, Greg, thank you guys so much for talking to us. Thank you for having us here to check everything out. Thanks for putting so much awesome stuff on display. Absolute blast. So happy I got to see you guys in person, because the last time I saw you was February of 2020, and I haven't seen you in person since.
Forever
if you can,
ago.
yeah, it certainly feels like it. So.
He had a bouffant back then. Now he's got forest man hair.
You're looking great. Everybody's looking good. Everyone looks healthy and happy, and I'm happy. That makes me happy. So
Thank you. Great to see you too. Shout out to Trevor. Congratulations to you and your family. Shout out to John. Shout out to Jason Warsaw, our amazing sales guy who really helps put it all together with Shop AEW and GameStop and Ringside. We're a great team.
we sure are. I appreciate you guys. We're here at AEW Revolution Fan Fest 2022, just finishing up with the Jazwares team for a Q&A. The festivities are going to continue. Are you guys going to Revolution?
Yeah, I'm going to sleep tonight and go to Revolution tomorrow.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, great. So we'll run into you at Revolution, I'm sure. And until then, check us out. Ringside Collectibles, WrestlingFigures.com. Your number one source for all things wrestling action figures in the entire universe. And we're on it.